Meanwhile, Donald Trump yesterday gave a second, had a second bite at the apple, as it were, to come out, and I don't even think we have sound of it, because why bother? I mean, even the white supremacists didn't take it seriously. I think Spencer, what's his name? Richard Spencer, said, I didn't buy that hokum. He had to go and do that. And the kumbaya stuff.
He said only a dumb person would believe that.
Only a dumb person. And frankly, I don't know that there's anybody who's believing it. I mean, you have now, and there was a piece in the New York Times today about how cowardly the CEOs on Donald Trump's manufacturing board and business boards are. And despite that fact, you have 3 or 4 that have already left. Merrick's CEO left yesterday, the only African American on the board. Under Armour's Kevin Plank left the Manufacturing Council yesterday as well, and now the CEO of Intel has left, and the others are apparently too afraid to go because they don't want to be on Donald Trump's bad side. Look, the heads of these companies, I mean, I don't know how sincere they are when they leave in this, but they simply make a calculation that it's time for them to leave. Maybe they are sincere, but to the extent that they are, then they've been deluding themselves, because I don't know why they sat on that board in the first place. It's not like Donald Trump's failure to admonish Nazis in a timely fashion has been the only clue to his disposition about these things. I mean, honestly, you the amount of delusion that would be involved in that would have to be pretty stunning. So, nevertheless, I welcome anybody rejecting Donald Trump in any fashion. And this is fun. Turns out Donald Trump, somebody did an analysis of Donald Trump's Twitter feed. And I guess there's a site that tracks Donald Trump's tweets. And so it makes it really easy to analyze and search them. And it turns out that Donald Trump has used the word racist or racism at least 56 times on Twitter, which
you might not expect that.
No, that's impressive. It is his, as you know, his main conduit to speak to the people, whether he was a fraudulent businessman or a fraudulent president. And it is the only way for him to get the unvarnished truth about what's in his heart to the American public. And so he's used the word racist or racism 56 times on Twitter. Good for him. In 2/3 of those tweets, Trump levied accusations of racism at individuals or groups of people. And those accusations followed a very clear pattern. This shows the depth of Donald Trump's principles and ideological beliefs. Trump has directed accusations of racism toward black people 3 times as often as he's done so against whites.
Are you serious?
Don't
know. I mean, look at the one he has up now.
Yes.
That does not surprise me. This is me. This is like...
Well, okay, I'm going to read it.
Okay,
How is ABC television allowed to have a show entitled Blackish? Can you imagine the furor of a show Whitish? Racism at the highest level? Question mark. I have to say, His
brain is silly putty. He's a moron.
Can't imagine the furor of a show called Whitish. I would imagine it would be somewhere on the 0 to nothing meter, frankly.
If it was making fun of white people, the outrage would be coming from a different part.
Yeah, it actually sounds like a fun satire show. Matt and I should start working on a treatment for it right now. Whitish.
Trump has accused former MSNBC host Torre of being a racist. He accused HBO Real Sports host Bryant Gumbel of
Bryant
Gumbel
Gumbel.
of being a racist.
What did like Bryant Gumbel say?
Yes.
Like, some fans at sporting events shout rude things. Racist.
He's also accused Tavis Smiley of being a racist. And to be fair, he's also accused some white people of being
Victims of racism.
No, of being racist, including Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Warren, and David Letterman.
Big league social justice.
Big league.
Big league racist. What if because
I mean,
Torre
look,
didn't
just
acknowledge
contemplate
MC
this.
Search's role in hip hop or something?
This is very indicative of Donald Trump's supporters, the majority of whom believe that racism against whites causes more damage to whites than racism against blacks causes to blacks. I'm not even sure if you need to comment on that, because if you think otherwise, I'm not even sure you had the ability to download or stream this podcast, because what would be involved in terms of the technical knowledge you would have to have and the ability to press buttons and click on buttons that aren't even there except for on images on a screen.
In business, we call it barriers to entry.
Which white people suffer at an alarming rate.
What are
in this
what are
country.
barriers usually? They're black. I mean, literally, you can see barriers. They're black.
Unbelievable. I mean, the only encouraging thing is that people realize this guy is nobody's taking him seriously.
I mean, I'm glad I'm not, but could you imagine if I was born black? They would be like president of the world.
How many?
And
I probably would be in my fourth
I'd
term
probably be
right
in my
now.
sixth
You
term
should
as
be-
president. I'd be a multi-billionaire.
You should be using a Romney voice for that.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
Folks.
Imagine if I was black. I would be crushing it.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos